So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 20 of our FM24 manager series here on the channel. Now, since the last episode, we said we got to get the form right again to ensure we were in the playoffs. Well, the form has come back a little bit. After the debacle you saw in the last episode, we beat Gillingham 8-0 at home. We took our frustrations out. And I must say, it was one of our best performances of the season. It was like the shackles were off. Right, we've had enough of this bad form now. We're going to just go and hammer somebody. And unfortunately, it worked for Gillingham that they got a real good hiding at Glanford Park. We followed that up with a 0-0 draw against Leyton Orient. I thought we'd used all those goals up in one game. We then beat Exeter 3-0, kept a clean sheet. As you can see, 3 clean sheets on the bounce was something I was particularly pleased with. Lost at home to Accrington 1-0. That was a real poor result. Drew away to the top of the league MK Dons, quite happy with that. And then we've just come off the back of 2 decent wins against Tranmere and Sutton. All that means is that in Sky Bet League 2 at the moment, with 10 games to go, we are very much in the playoff picture. Don't write us off for the 3rd automatic promotion space. I think that is an option going forward. But we've got Stockport today. There's a couple of teams still in this. I reckon Burton are still in it. Maybe Crewe if you're being kind. But from 10th to 3rd, possibly 2nd, any of these could win automatic promotion or playoffs. So it very much is going to be a very interesting end to the season. If we have a look, we've got Stockport at home today. We're 8th, and then we're going to go away to Newport County. We have got one new signing. We did want to bring someone in, and it is Josh Thomas, brought in on loan from Stoke City. A bit more youthful, plenty of aggression, plenty of determination and flair as well. Josh Thomas has got. He's a striker. He's a pressing forward. Something a little bit different for us, so I was quite glad to get him in. We have stuck with the 3 at the back, as you can see, but we have pushed our defensive line a bit more forward. We're trying a little bit more to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more proactive in games. And one other little note is that Sean Hutchinson will be retiring at the end of this season. Hopefully he can retire with a promotion on his CV. So that is everything for this first game. Let's get stuck straight into it, because really, if we beat Stockport here, we're going to make a real dint in their promotion hopes. Russell Martin is the Stockport manager, so he's obviously fallen from grace a little bit on this series so far. But I'm excited to see what we possibly can do today. We are at Glanford Park. We should be taking the game to Stockport. If you do see me glancing towards the right-hand side, it is because we have had some OBS issues in the last couple of days, so I'm just hoping that they are all now behind us, which they seem to be. But straight away, we win the ball back with Elliott, and Thomas strikes in. It's a good effort, to be fair to him. Just over the bar from Thomas. But yeah, I think that Gillingham result was one that I felt had possibly been coming as Michael Smith goes up for that. Saidi brings it down once again, looks to get it into the box, and there is Adam Berry who strikes it. Stockport defending for their lives at this moment in time. Yeah, at this moment in time, that Gillingham game, we just went mad. We went absolutely mad. Michael Smith back in the side, as you can see, causing plenty of issues at the moment. But Michael Smith being back's been a big boost for us. He's got a few goals as well. 25, I think he's on for the season now. He's by far the league's top scorer. And now we're not playing as many games as Thomas probably should score there. I'm hoping that we're going to see a few more wins and a return to form. And we have settled on a back 3. McKelland has come in and been absolutely central to what we've been doing. Saidi and Hutchinson at either side of him. So a couple of the younger lads, Chaplin especially, who's played most of the season for us, has been dropped. But as we're 26 minutes in here, not too much happening. But we do have a highlight. Stockport trying to play out from the back as well, as we are known for, as Tatonda tries to go forward. As you'd expect with Russell Martin's side, they'll want to keep possession of the ball. But we're a team, of course, that does like to keep possession as well. We're trying to press them to make them go along and kick it into our big 3 centre-halves. But early doors here, Saidi should pick that up nicely and knocks it lovely back to Dewhurst. McKelland, like I say, he's probably the younger version of Sean Hutchinson. So I will really chuff. We had a look on deadline day, trying to get a couple more in, but couldn't quite do it as Shabab goes back into McClelland. Couldn't quite get any more transfers in, but at the moment, that's a lovely ball through to Adam Berry, who strikes it wide of the right-hand post. Possibly, again, should do a little bit better there, should Adam Berry. I would expect a little bit better as well, if I'm honest. But Stockport not really being in this, it must be said. And hopefully we're not going to get sucker punched here, because we're quite capable of doing that, as Wootton is in. And what did I say? Hopefully we're not going to get sucker punched here. And on first half stoppage time, it is Stockport County 1, Scunthorpe 0. And after this run of wins that we've been on, that I could have showed you, we come back on camera and we are 1-0 down. And it's got to be said, I think that is a little bit undeserved, that. It looked like it was Saidi who couldn't quite get across. It's a good finish from the Stockport man. But that is disappointing because we have controlled that game, really. 10 shots, 4 on target. We have been unlucky so far. And I think, really, in this second half, we can look to press on now. Thomas, I'll give him another 10-15 minutes. He's not really hit the ground running as Josh Thomas, I think it's fair to say. As we go short into him here with Adam Berry. Now back to Thomas. Thomas strikes it. And he has hit the ground running, apparently. No, Josh Thomas scores the goal. It's a great finish from the man on loan from Stoke City. Aggression, bit of flair as well. He's not really hit the height since he's come in. But that is a lovely, lovely strike into the top right-hand corner. We will take that all day long. Great finish from him. And now that really is deserved. We've been the better side here. And I'm thinking we can push on and possibly win this now. As we tick up towards 65, 70 minutes, I think that's when the substitutions are going to start coming. And the substitutions are going to start coming now. Elliott's having a particularly good game. Waldron's injured, so that brings... I'm going to bring Max Robson on the right-hand side. Michael Smith's struggling a little bit with injury. We're going to bring on Connor Wickham. I was going to bring off Josh Thomas, but now he's just done that. I'm tempted not to. I'm going to leave it another few minutes, and I think then we will possibly be looking at bringing on maybe Louis Marsh. He's probably the one that I'll bring on. Give it another 10 minutes. We'll shout a little bit of encouragement. We're going to go a little bit more attacking as well because I feel we can win this. As Hutchinson goes into Shabab. It must be said we've started to resemble. In the past couple of episodes, I've been a little bit frustrated with how we've been playing. Not really the style in which I like to see my team playing. And I've not recognised my team at times during this probably middle part of the season. But the last couple of episodes, as Tunnicliffe nicks it off Shabab and goes round him, I've started to recognise my side again, and they're starting to look like a Lewis team, which is what I'm enjoying seeing. As we've gone a little bit more attacking now, as we've ticked to 80 minutes, now is the chance to bring on a couple of changes. I think we're going to take off both Elliott and Andrew Berry. Adam Berry. You think I get his name right? He's been here 3 seasons now. That is that. Said is absolutely dying a death at the back, so that prompts Max Bardell to come on at centre-half. And hopefully we can go and win this. We do have a free kick with Andre Brooks, and he will take it. Wickham's in the middle. We've got a couple of other big lads in there as well, which I'd expect. We go short to Robson, who shoots, and that goes all the way in. And Stockport will possibly be a little bit frustrated with that because, let's be fair, they've conceded 2 belters today. Not that I don't think it's been undeserved, but it's definitely worth another watch because Robson hits it well. There's a couple of plays. I think he actually takes a touch off more at centre-half. And they will be a little bit frustrated with that Stockport because really they could have stopped that. That were a preventable goal from them as Tatonda goes to the ball. That looked a bit innocuous. And Josh Thomas has been sent off. Wow. I mean, that looked very, very soft, I must say. We're going to stick with a plan. We're going to keep it. We're not going to change formation. What we will do a little bit is just start time wasting a little bit more. And we'll also just get the goalkeeper just to slow the pace down a little bit. I don't want to be really pushing on here. 8 minutes of added time. Of course there's 8 minutes of added time. As Stockport whip it into the middle. We head it away firstly. Shabab gets a second one. And we've got defending to do now. It's backs against the wall for Scunthorpe. It's struck well. Oh my word. I mean, 8 minutes of added time. We've tried to defend. We clear the first one and we get it with an absolute stunner from the Stockport player. I mean, look at this. He plays it into Moore, and the man who possibly was at fault for our second goal does manage to get the goal. Wickham, though, has got a long throw, which he chucks in towards the box, and we have a penalty. We've gone straight back up the other end. This referee does not look like a very good one at the moment, but Connor Wickham has the chance from the spot and scores. Connor Wickham gets the goal. It's his 11th goal of the season. we've got Wickham in the middle, and Connor Wickham does not half know how to score at these levels. He's been a player I've really enjoyed managing, it must be said. But Wickham, bottom left-hand corner, we have got a little bit more time to negate here. But we do have a corner. Brooks is going to whip it in. Hutchinson gets his head on it. But as we tick into added time, we're over the allotted added time. And Stockport County have been defeated at Glanford Park. It was a calm penalty in the situation. Very well done, lads. I'm a little bit upset with that sending off. It didn't look like one. But that puts us on to 65 points. We're 3 points behind Accrington. It puts us crucially 6 points in front of Scunthorpe. All to play for in Newport County. Let's just have a little look. Have Newport County just played? I can't see that they have. Oh, they have. They've just drawn 2-2 away at Burton of Newport County. So hopefully, if we go here and win, we might even finish in the automatic promotion places. Right then, guys, not many changes for this second game of the episode. We've got Dewhurst in goal, Saidi, McClelland, Hutchinson, Bardell to Tonda. Bardell's coming because Waldron's now got an injury. Shabab keeps it in defensive midfield. Brooks comes in for Berry. Berry is absolutely knackered, so Brooks comes in. And Louis Marsh is coming in up front with Michael Smith. Pretty much unchanged, just having to manage fitness as per usual, but get a win here. 2 wins out of 2 this episode would be delightful. Graham Coughlin is the Newport County manager. Omar Bogle, remember when he was quite a big thing at Wigan Athletic and a couple of other places? How the careers can suddenly go south. But Omar Bogle there, number 9, he's obviously going to score past us now. I've just said that. But hopefully we can pick up another win here. I'm pretty confident we can. But Newport County have a corner within 45 seconds. And it's going to be crossed in by Rye. McClelland gets a good head on it. But there he's Kitchen. It's back to Claydon on the edge of the box. It goes into Coleman. That takes a wicked deflection. And to be fair, Dewhurst just stood watching it. And there was nothing he could do. We were delighted to see it bounce off the post. But Newport County look like early doors. They are fancying it here a little bit. We are a little bit tired, our lads, as we know. But we'll come into this a little bit, I think. 4-2-3-1. We tend to do okay against this formation. As Bardell chucks one in towards Brooks. Bardell will get it back. He whips a lovely ball into the box. It must be said that we're teasing. Louis Marsh underneath it. Now Tonda tries to play it into the middle. It comes out towards Shahab, but Bogle does well. Marsh equally so. Winning it back to Tonda. Down the left-hand side, can he get a ball into the box? He certainly can. He's tried the low one again. And there is Ben Elliott. And I don't know if Louis Marsh just missed that or he stepped over it. We're going to say that he dummied it. And Ben Elliott is there to tap in the 6-yard box. Lovely work from him. As you can see, down the left-hand side to Tonda. He did well. He's gone for the low crosses on a couple of occasions. Let's have a look at Louis Marsh. He did. Stepped over it, did Louis Marsh. And there was Ben Elliott. Lovely work. Lovely football from Scunthorpe. And we take the lead. It's Scunthorpe 1, Newport County 0. And we have another throw-in down the right-hand side. But this time it's a poor throw from Bardell. But Hutchinson dominates Bogle. Oh, and Andre Brooks. 3rd goal of the season. Left-hand side of the goal. Top left-hand corner. What a finish from the young Sheffield United loan. He's got this in the locker as Andre Brooks. He's not shown it too much this season. But obviously he's growing a little bit now with us. And he strikes it well. Townsend, absolutely no chance in the Newport County goal. And as things stand, we are currently sat in the automatic promotion places. But we've got to keep the pressure on here as Bardell goes into McClelland, who will go into Dewhurst. And we're starting to look a little bit more comfortable. And I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable when recording these episodes as Michael Smith goes into Bardell. Down the right-hand side. Takes a touch back to Saidi. Has a look inside, he's got McClelland. I think what we have noted is that we can't be changing the team as much as we possibly wanted to. Or I wouldn't say wanted to, had to, during that time when we had all them cup games and we were playing Man United. And it were a tough part of the season, both for the players and for me to manage it. But now we've started to come back into some sort of normal schedule. We're able to play as best players more often. Play them together as Brooks just skips past their man again. Louis Marsh is looking dangerous in the middle. And Louis Marsh gets his 8th goal of the season. It must be said these Sheffield United loanees are looking rather good. Admittedly, we've got a couple of ex-Sheffield Wednesday players in there. But whisper that quietly. Because, we don't really want that to know about that. But one of those ex-Sheffield Wednesday players has scored 25 goals this season. So I can't be too negative about him. But at the moment, we are starting to look a very decent side. And I mean, just look at that. It's lit up like a Christmas tree, even though we're past Christmas. And I'm sure nobody wants to hear that word at this moment in time. But it is. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. The only one that's not on green at the moment is Michael Smith. As Newport have a free kick which goes over the bar. Dewhurst watches it all the way. And we tick up towards 41 minutes. I wouldn't like to let Newport get back into this. As Saide makes a good header, and then Marsh does well to follow it out as well. Newby will have it though, passes into Rye. Now Coleman defending to do once again here. Brooks looks to close him down. Now Hewlett. And we've forced them back beautifully from that corner, by the way. We have really forced them back all the way to the halfway line. Kitchen goes into Olifinjana. Remember Olifinjana at Wolves as Omar Bogle? I did say it, didn't I? Will get the goal. It's 18th goal of the season, but it won't count. It's disallowed. A good finish though from Omar Bogle. Maybe we reignite his career next season. Who knows? But as we tick up towards half time, that has been pretty dominant. It must be said. I think we've created loads. I'm very happy with that. I think Michael Smith's probably going to be the one that comes off for Connor Wickham. Connor Wickham was superb in that last game, obviously taking that penalty. It's Mark Kitchen, actually, at the back. Yeah, Connor Wickham, fantastic in that last game. Probably deserved to start this one, in fairness. But, we've got 73%. By the way, let's just, when we finish this highlight, let's just have a look at the stats on the left-hand side. You may already be looking at them. I'm obviously watching the game a little bit more. But let's just have a look at the possession stats, because I don't think we've seen it this dominant in quite a long time. Saide into Bardell. Back to Saide. Plays a nice little ball over the top. Wickham gets a looping header on it. It drops wide of the goal. Focus your attention here. 72% possession for Scunthorpe United today. What are we doing? Oh, we've just let them get... We've just given up ball for about 10 seconds. We have been absolutely dominant in possession at this moment in time, which is something we've always been doing, but just not quite as possibly as effective as we should have. That's a lovely tackle from Shihab. I'm actually going to make some changes in a moment, because I sense Newport County is starting to come into this a little bit more, which I'm not overly fond of. We're doing the old... we're 2-3 now, we're comfortable, let's just chill out a little bit. We've got a bit of complacency starting to creep in around the players as Montgomery strikes it from the edge of the box, and that is going to prompt changes. We are going to bring on Owen Bailey. He's going to come on for Shihab. I think that makes sense, if I do it correctly. Tatonda is struggling a little bit now, probably Kenlock on for him. I'm going to leave me back three because they are playing particularly well. Ben Elliott's playing particularly well in midfield as well, but I think he's getting a bit knackered, so Kian Scales can come on and sort out the midfield. Kian Scales, a player who has come back very much into the thinking of this Scunthorpe side, it must be said. We go into Brooks and we play out again. I don't know where Kenlock were there. Is that Kenlock? What on earth? Why we're running so far inside there? Beyond me. But Newport County coming forward again. They are really starting to press us here. And Ruben Soares Jr., he sounds good. He were very good at that point. Has just made it 3-1, and it's starting to look a little bit less comfortable now as we start to demand more from the players, because we have had a bad 5 or 10 minutes there. And we can see on the left-hand side, look how things are changing down the left. They've only had 2 shots on target of Newport County, but we have now conceded. I wouldn't like to concede another one as we just click up the time wasting. We've worked out that attack is probably the best form of defence on this year's Football Manager as well in recent days. As Kenlock tries to whip this into the box, which he does. It's headed away well by Bright, and Rye will complete the clearance. Louis Marsh now takes a few touches into Bardell. Options left and right, but he chooses to just go all the way back to Marcus Dewhurst, who will take his time into Sam McClelland. Pings it out to Kenlock. Wickham is in the middle. Back to Hutchinson, into Kian Scales. We know this map. That's why he's played himself back into contention, because Kian Scales is a player that really wasn't being used. He were playing in all the, the sort of non-important games. But at the moment, Kian Scales looks every bit a League 2 central midfield. That is a lovely finish. Lovely finish on his right foot. Kills it into the bottom right-hand corner. And you've got to say, as far as an episode goes, we've had a couple of iffy ones. That is back to winning ways. We are 1 point behind Swindon in 3rd position. We are 6 points clear of Stockport in 8th position. We've got a couple of teams with a game in hand behind us. You've got to win those games in hand, though, at this point in the season. So let's have a look where we will be coming back. We're going to be coming back towards the end of the season. Possibly that Swindon game makes sense, but we'll see how it all progresses. We're going to come back towards the end of the season. We may end up in another playoff run. We might be having some more playoffs next weekend, but we shall certainly see. I hope you've enjoyed that one. We're enjoying this run of form. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra.